Hi, it's me again, and today let's discuss CDs. More specifically, Best Buy's announcement regarding their plans with CDs, as well as the future CDs have on the music industry as a whole. So for those who haven't heard, Best Buy recently announced that they will no longer be selling CDs in their department stores, and there's rumors going around that Target might follow suit soon. Now, this shouldn't really come as a surprise to anybody, as CD sales have been on a steady decline for 17 years now. So it's getting to the point where stores just aren't finding it profitable to sell CDs. Now, this isn't doom and gloom for CDs as a whole, as you still have some stores like Walmart selling them, you have Amazon, and of course, you have your local independent record stores. Support your boys at your local indie stores if you buy physical. So, how do I feel about this as someone that always purchases a CD whenever given the opportunity? And the truth is, I'm mixed. I think if we do get to a point where CDs cease to exist altogether, there are two ways that it could go. One good and one bad. Let's get the negative out of the way first and discuss the bad. So, as of right now, not all the time, but most of the time, if you want to get the highest quality possible from your music, chances are you're going to want to go with a CD. A digital download typically goes between 256 and 320 kilobytes per second. Sometimes you might be lucky enough for a band to offer, or an artist to offer their music in FLAC, which can go from 500 to 600 kilobytes per second. And of course, Tidal Premium streams all their music in FLAC. However, a CD is generally going to be somewhere between 900 and 1200 kilobytes per second. So that, even above FLAC, is going to be your highest bet for getting the highest possible quality of music. And so, if CDs die and our means to acquire music doesn't undergo any sort of evolution, that's going to be a massive disappointment, because that's a whole other fidelity of music that will no longer be accessible for most formats. However, there is a way that we could go about it that it might not be so destructive. So you might have heard of a digital storefront called Bandcamp. Typically you'll see a lot of indie artists, independent rappers put their stuff up on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. SoundCloud is definitely the most popular of them. Bandcamp is not as popular, but I definitely much prefer Bandcamp because of this one specific feature. When you purchase an album or an EP or something from an artist, it's not just in one download format. You can choose from a host of file types that you want to download your music in. So you can go with your typical MP3 at 320 kilobytes per second, or you can do an AIFF or a FLAC or a WAV file even. And stuff like AIFF and WAV particularly are going to be even higher quality than CDs. 64-bit WAV is going to be about 3,000 kilobytes per second. That's about 3 times the quality of your average CD. AIFF is going to be about 1,500, but can sometimes go to 2,000. That's about 1.5 to 2 times the amount of data in that file compared to a lossless CD rip. The reason many of these digital storefronts don't currently offer all of these options is because when digital music first took off, the reason it took off was because of the MP3 file. You see, back in the late 90s to early 2000s, storage spaces were typically much smaller. You'd be lucky to have 200 gigabytes of storage on a personal computer, and an MP3 compressed the file size just enough to retain good enough quality for the average listener, to set a really good standard for your average listener. And so as a result, when Apple launched the iPod in 2001, they launched the iTunes digital storefront to host MP3, and now they host M4A, but their version is roughly the same type. But that standard kept going on through when more digital storefronts would open. Nowadays, though, storage is not an issue. I mean, You could walk into a store right now and get a pre-made computer, and it'll probably have a 1 terabyte hard drive at minimum. And if for some reason you fill it all up, install another one or grab an external hard drive. Or storage is no longer an issue anymore, so there's really no reason to not have higher quality files available. And so, assuming that these stores would implement an option like this, then I see no problem with letting the CD go. Obviously, from a nostalgia standpoint, I'll miss it. As a collector, I'll miss it because I love displaying the hundreds and hundreds of CDs I have, you know, like it's in a bookcase in a library. But beyond the collectability factor, a CD is just technologically obsolete. There's no reason to have it anymore. I mean, I could drop my CD on the floor right now, it could scratch, and I wouldn't be able to play one of my songs, or it would skip all over the place. Meanwhile, I could store a bunch of digital songs on this USB drive in AIFF or wave quality that's higher quality, throw this against my wall as hard as I could, and all of this would still be intact. And so, there's just really no reason to have CDs anymore if, and that's the big if these digital storefronts were to undergo their evolution. And that's the big takeaway for tonight, is that's what I want to see, is digital storefronts allow more options for downloading, for us audiophiles that want to get every inch of data out of our hard-earned money for the music that we purchase. And that is all for my video tonight. So, what are your thoughts? Do you purchase CDs? Do you hold my opinions? Do you have different opinions than I? Please let me know. I want to hear all sorts. I want to hear your opinions and all sorts of different viewpoints in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say on the matter. So, that'll do it for tonight. I hope you wonderful people have a nice day. Why am I talking in bites like this right now? Until next time, bye-bye.